Okay. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the 8th Minister debate. With me, I have a few candidates, but not all of them are reachable because, for example, Notch probably doesn't play Minecraft anymore, and many others are just unreachable because everyone is voting for joke candidates right now. Anyway, I'm your moderator for this debate, Blockett James, and we're going to get a few candidates, and they're going to tell you their perks, etc., and we're going to have a few questions answered. So, starting off, we're going to have the person who is second place and third place in this election. Mash Clash, please come up and tell everyone about your perk.
Okay, what's up, guys? Yeah, my perk is just going to be either a foraging one or a Slayer perk called the Totem of RNG, and I'll give more information on it later.
Okay. And next on the list, we have somebody who is actually number one in this election and has proved very popular. Keith Aura, please come up to the stage and give your speech.
Hello. I apologize for the sound of my voice. Of course, I need to remain anonymous at this moment. But I'd like you to know that my custom perk isn't currently public, but will be very soon. However, as for if I do manage to place first, I will be choosing farming-related mayor perks.
Okay, thank you very much. And next on the list, we have a candidate that recently entered the top 7 and is also currently live streaming right now. Snowflake Kiwi, please come up to the stage and give your short speech.
Yo! Hi. I'm Kiwi. I have a dungeon perk, the Auto Salvager, which has been seen before, but I'll be running with it today, and I will be looking at doing some for my temporary perk for dungeon-related perks. Probably Easy Peasy or Chest Marauder, just for the cheap dungeon stuff.
Okay. Thank you very much. And then somebody who wants to add a Dwarven Mines race to the game. Chloe.net, please come up.
Hello. So yeah, I'm adding the Dwarven Race. It has 2 mining rewards for early game that will benefit Powder, and it also has a pendant which will be more useful when Great Glaciate Lake comes out because it'll be the new. Actually, yeah, I'll explain that later. Dwarven Race, essentially.
Okay. And then finally, a candidate who plans to add a Slayer-only helmet. It is Cuba. So Cuba, please head up and tell us about why people should vote for you.
Well. Hello, everyone. I would like to add a Slayer-only helmet called Stidar's helmet. I don't know. I will just find it kinda useful and interesting to have a Slayer-only item to make Slayers more fun after you grind level 9, and even to have it easier to get to level 9. So it's a Tirad's helmet. That's all for now.
Okay,
I'll
thank you
finish
very
it later.
much. Okay, so that's all of the candidates currently available. Marina Footlover gave up because of how competitive this election is, along with all of the joke candidates. And
don't count me out. I'm here.
All right, King. And
I'm gonna
next,
state my perk real quick.
okay, if King Crostonian, if you want to talk about your perk, then please do.
The Gooners, welcome back to the King Crostonian podcast. I would like to add a upgrade to the Holy Ice from the Rift, because everyone knows that item is very ping dependent.
Is that all?
Yeah, that's all. I gotta go back to clean these skitters.
All right, fair enough. Okay, so that Libra is making a King Crossonian NPC, which will be useful later. So we now have all 6 candidates lined up. So we're going to move on to the set questions section of the debate. So this is stage 2 of the debate. We have 3 more after that, which involves audience questions and journalist questions as well, along with allowing candidates here to ask questions to other candidates. But starting off with the set questions, the first one always is about your custom perk. Explain it in detail and also say which set perks you plan to choose. Starting with you, Snowflake Kiwi, sorry.
Oh, hi. Okay. So to go a bit more into detail with my perk, it's basically going to be an add-on to the Malik NPC in the Dungeon Hub. You'll be able to purchase and unlock pages in the Auto Salvager, which will basically you'll put items that you want. Like, for example, instead of putting items in your personal deleter when you get too many of them, like we all get like 10 sets of bouncy chest plates. I'm gonna be honest. It's kind of annoying. To fix that, the salvager will basically automatically salvage that item when it enters into your inventory, which will then give you the essence so you don't have to spend countless times either hoarding them, deleting them by throwing them in the trade menu, or stuff like that. So this way you can get your essence. It's really helpful for IMM players and also is just really good time save personally. There will be filters. So for example, if you don't want to lose your, say for example, you drop an ice spray, you can put that dungeon drop into the filter and you won't be able to lose the item. It'll just go into your inventory like normal. This would also be a filter for items that are 50% quality or above. So basically, your skeleton master chestplate you dropped in M7, you wouldn't want it to be deleted. Essentially, what the filter would do was it won't acknowledge 50% quality or above drops, which is pretty much how the perk would work. In the game, you'd be able to unlock more pages to put more stuff into the filters, using bits, and that's how it would function. Yeah, this is entirely how it would function. And for my temporary perk, I'm currently having a debate whether I pick Easy Peasy or Paul's Dungeon Marauder, just because cheaper chest is always nice, but also Easy Peasy because some of us may be skill issued in M7.
Yeah, that's totally fair.
But yeah, that's basically what my perks are.
Okay, thank you very much. Appreciate it, Snow Kiwi. Next, we head on to somebody who has only gone in the top 7 once, and that was because I think Night Libra trolled. King Crustonian, can you go into a bit more detail on your perk that you were describing earlier, and tell us what perks you plan to add as a set perk if you were to get into the top 7?
I'll explain my perk. The answer machine after display. I want to add an upgrade to the holy. It would you two good. Okay, so we all know ping difference of the holy eyes makes they're impossible. People of high ping. So this one will have a 2-second duration instead of 1.5 and reduce damage by 90%. Because sometimes it's enough and you still get killed if you holy eyes. And also, if you perfectly time your holy eyes with a twin claw, it will reflect it back to the boss to 100 damage. It rewards people who are very skilled at being Slayer for faster boss. And I know with the 90% damage reduction that you can ice like the pillars and the eye cores. If you do that, it will then break for 60 seconds and go back to the 1.5 seconds and only give a 50% damage reduction. So it's like a risk reward. You lived, but now it's going to be harder to do the boss.
Okay. And then, do you know what your set perk would be?
I would do derbies. Supplement.
Okay, fair enough. All
If
right,
someone else is already doing it.
Mash Clash. So can you explain? In fact, you have two separate perks that you're currently considering: the Totem of RNG and the Condensed Log consumable, and the item that allows you to get that. So Mash Clash, can you explain both of them and explain what set perks you plan to choose?
Yeah, so my two perks are the Totem of RNG and then the Condensed Log and then the necklace that lets you get it. The Totem of RNG would let you retain 50% of your RNG meter. When you drop the item your RNG meter is set to, and it's a soul-bounded drop that drops from Slayers. And then if I want to pick a foraging perk, I have the Condensed Log. And the Condensed Log is a consumable that gives you double jump, plus 5% sweep, and plus 10% foraging fortune for 1 hour, and has a 2 million NPC sell price. But to be honest, the main thing that I'm going to be running on, at least for now, is that my only other competition doesn't even have a custom perk. So effectively, if you're either choosing between zero perk or my perk. So I think I win in that regard.
Okay, thank you very much, Mash Flash. Next, we have the other person who doesn't actually have an announced custom perk. Keepora has been very cryptic, even using a voice changer quite clearly. So, Keepora, do you know? Can you give us any detail on what your custom perk could be? Could you give us any hints? And also, could you tell us anything more about the set farming perks that you plan to choose? I assume they're Finnegan based because you said that they were farming.
Of course. At the moment, I'll be honest with you, a custom perk hasn't really crossed my mind too much. The current priority of mine is maintaining the right of the people to choose their leaders. Which is why when I saw an end aura option in the next election, I thought, fair enough. But you should also have the option to maintain aura. Aura has been nothing but beneficial to this community, allowing them to add options to the game that they wouldn't have otherwise had due to having their own opinions being considered in items. I believe that this has been beneficial on top of the increased luck, the decreased prices, and the overall enjoyment of new players and new community to the game. I think this has been solely beneficial, and so I hope to give the people an option to keep aura in the game. As for my perks, I do intend on choosing Statspocalypse, Blooming Business, and Pest Eradicator as my 3 perks should I maintain first place in this election.
Okay. Thank you very much, Keepora. So you're basically going for like a Finnegan kind of mayor vibe there. Okay. Makes perfect sense. Thank you very much.
Yes, I've spoken with some other players and I've heard that this would be most beneficial.
Okay, thank you very much, Keepora. Next we have Chloe.net. So can you go into a bit more detail on your custom perk, and can you explain to us what set perks you plan to choose if you do get into the top 7?
Yeah. So essentially, every race comes with 4 rewards usually. Mine would have an accessory and a pet item that both give extra powder. When I made this perk, it was not the main point to just make it Talisman Sloth, as some people have called it. It's because we haven't gotten a new race since the dungeon race, and I think it's a tradition that they should bring back. Additionally, the main thing that people have looked at when it comes to actual rewards is the Sunken Pendant, which would be the new best in slot fishing necklace for fishing or for mining islands, as it would double your fishing stats on the necklace, including the reforge on all mining islands. And if I were to get elected, I would choose Mythological Ritual as my perk. It's definitely a lot more targeted in terms of rewards for early to mid game progression.
Okay, thank you very much, Chloe.net. All right. And then finally, we have Cuba. So, Cuba, can you go into a bit more detail on your helmet and tell us what set perks you plan to choose if you do happen to get into the top 7?
Well, I would like the helmet. It should be locked behind all Slayers level 8. So you can have the second half and longer half a lot easier. It should be the best in slot for damage and magic find, for Slayers only, of course. But it should be worse than Clover Helm, because it's just expensive as hell. I'm not sure about the pricing, but I would like to add it next to the Auto Slayer button, so you can buy it from Maddox. Maybe for 150 mil to 250, and maybe some not that rare Slayer drops like Shard of the Shredded, Side Blades, Shriveled Wasp, Digested Mosquito, blah blah blah.
Okay.
And in lore explanation, I would like it to be like the best of Slayer helmet that retired and gave his helm to his friend Maddox, and you can just obtain it. And as my custom perks, I mean the preset perks, I would like to have easy peasy, or also cheaper dungeon chests, because I don't know, I like running dungeons, and handles are kinda expensive right now.
Okay.
That's probably all.
Okay, thank you very much, Cuba. Appreciate it. So now what we're going to do is we're going to head on to the next set question, which is kind of like we have 2 set questions in one mainly. So I'll ask them both to you at the same time. So the first of these is about 2 very controversial perks. In fact, well, I mean, both of them are about 2 very controversial perks. One of them is the 5k vote. Now we had the Nepo election in election 6, where a bunch of the ministers actually kind of really decided the election. In fact, only 2 people got into the top 7 just by pure votes. So I want your thoughts on the 5,000 vote for minister perk, or also known as the voice of the people perk, and as well, I would like to know your thoughts on the fame rank voting system, which has been put in place the past 2 elections. So I'll start with you, Snowflake Kiwi. If you could start with the voice of the people perk, explain that, explain your views on that, and then move on to the fame rank voting system.
Well, I don't really agree with the voice of the people perk, mainly because it just makes it so that ministers can gang up and, decide who exactly gets to pick what perks, and they essentially get what perks they want. And so, for example, if a minister didn't get what they wanted the previous election, they could just elect someone they know and to get what they wanted, which was kind of what was going to happen with me in regards to having Melon King's perks. I realized how unfair that seemed to other people, which is why I'm no longer running with Melon King's perks. I just wanted to make that very clear. That was the reason why I wasn't running with it. And I do disagree with it because it kind of just brings in nepotism, and everyone gets a bit upset because the elections should be fair in all honesty, and especially with like voice of the people, it kind of makes the elections basically impossible unless you're basically famous. Essentially. So that's my opinion of the voice of the people perk. With the fame perk, I kind of disagree with it as well. Similar to the current point where it's like fame, you can either buy fame or you can earn it in game. So you can buy fame with IRL money Skyblock gems, which is what some people have done. I have like a really high fame rank, so it's like I get like almost 100 votes. Not saying I've dumped a lot of money in the game, but you only really get that high unless you've dropped like 10 bill booster cookies in game. So it's kind of also like a more of a pay to win perk as well, because you could just get a bunch of like IRL friends who always buy like fire sales, who make heaps of money, and then just have your friend group boost you through the entire election. So it's kind of like the same point. Is I just don't agree with both of the perks because they kind of just ruin the election. Like, ideally, I'd like it if we didn't have it at all, so that way the elections would be kind of fair. But at the moment, that's just not how the perks work. That's personally how I feel about it.
Yeah. I can totally see where you're coming from. Like, at the moment, yeah, I totally agree. Actually, King Crostonian, how about you? If you're actually still able to speak while you're still at work.
Yes, I can speak for a little bit. So, with voices of people, all right. I don't like it as much as another person, but if it gives us custom perks, that's like if like right now, if God or not shows up, then we don't get anything, of course. But I don't like how like the whole picking thing is because people like me just cannot get up there because see, first time there were 5,000 votes the second the election started. 5,000 people don't know me. I'm gonna get up there and people quit because they don't want to do anything. But with the fame thing, it kind of equals out because like that's only 50 people with 100 votes to get you up where a YouTuber would vote for you or something like that. So yeah, that's my real opinion on that. And with the fame thing, like Huey said, it's like you can ask a person of 100 votes to vote for you, and like some people even paying people of 100 votes to vote for them. It's really just me. I think there should be no voting perks at all, or both of them equal it out.
All right, fair enough. Thank
Yeah,
you for
that's
your
my idea.
thank you for your insight, King Crostonian. Now on to you, Mash Clash. So starting off with the Voice of the People perk, what are your opinions on that? Now, the Voice of the People perk is one of the reasons that you are still in the top three, as I think like you've had quite a few minister votes right now, but at the same time you may have differing opinions on it, as well as the fame rank as well is quite a crucial one, so you might have a few opinions on that. So starting with Voice of the People, what are your opinions on that perk?
I think Voice of the People is not bad. It has pros and cons. So it has cons that it basically the previous ministers get to decide the perk, but it also has pros because some perks that aren't OP or something that, yeah, basically any perk that isn't OP can still get added in. So I think a good example would be Luamon's Hodif preset or Hodem and Hodif preset perk, because if he didn't get those minister votes, he would have basically zero chance of getting in. So I think that's like a good example of how it can be good. But obviously, there's other times when people give bad perks and it gets voted up. But I think overall, it's pretty good.
Okay. All right then. And then on fame rank.
Yeah, for the fame rank perk, I think it's bad, like completely bad. I get that it helps people who are like get to the 100 vote count, but I think it prioritizes endgame, which is kind of stupid. And not even endgame in that sense, just people who spend a lot of money, which is also stupid. Um, it also is the reason that like people like God and Notch are voted so high, even though they literally are just gonna void perks. So because of that, I don't like it. Also, Confused Goon was also up there during a fame rank perk. So basically, every time fame rank has been chosen, we've had a joke candidate in the top three. So take that what you will.
Right. Thank you, Mash Flash. Next we have Keepora. So Keepora, you actually haven't had any minister votes, and
Yeah.
you are what others would consider a joke candidate. But I mean, you may have a few opinions on that. But firstly, what is your thoughts on the Voice of the People perk? And then after that, what are your thoughts on the fame rank perk, which has been in effect for the past 2 elections?
Of course. I don't believe there is a black and white yes/no answer to this. I think that both of the perks have their benefits and their downsides. I think similar to what Mash has said, I believe that the famed voter perk has allowed joke candidates to completely void custom items that could otherwise be incredibly beneficial to the people. And I believe that that is a foolish decision that the people have decided to do. But at the end of the day, it is a decision that the people have made. I also believe that the famed voter perk panders to the ideals of the elite because of the fact that the votes and how many votes you give is entirely reliant on a pay-to-win factor. So I believe that the famed voter perk intends to pander to the 1% who are, of course, having their votes count for 50, 100 votes per vote, whereas without it, everybody's vote is equal. Now, I don't believe that this excuses the voice of the people perk, which of course allows the ministers to effectively choose the top 5, top 7 even ministers for the next election. It's a very, very powerful choice, and of course, I believe when combined with the famed voter perk, allows for a more even distribution of votes throughout the election. I personally just don't believe there is a correct answer. I think there is flaws and positives all around for both people. The voice of the people perk also allows for smaller players who maybe don't have as big an outreach as some YouTubers or celebrities to get an opportunity to become minister, despite the fact that they wouldn't normally be able to do that, which I think is a positive all around. So yes, that is all I have to say about that, but I just don't believe that there is a correct answer for this.
Okay, thank you very much, Keepora. Chloe.net, what are your thoughts as someone who isn't as well known as some of the other candidates who are currently running, or as fun to vote for, let's say, because of Endor and Keepora and the rivalry is crazy? What are your thoughts on Voice of the People and the Fame Rank perk? So starting off with Voice of the People, what are your thoughts on that?
I thought it was alright at the beginning of this election cycle, but after seeing how it has been abused by some ministers, I have a feeling it's just overall been a negative. And I think that having to get like a content creator or someone who's already a minister to vote for you just creates more of a hassle for them, because then they're just going to be getting like spam DM'd for everyone's ideas, and I didn't really feel comfortable doing that because I didn't want to annoy people. As for the frame rank system, I also thought that would end up working better than it did, because I had like half a dozen people immediately vote for me, but they were all early to mid game players because that's what my perk targets, and it just really gives them less of a voice than like say one person with 20 votes.
All right, yeah, thank you very much, Chloe.net. Finally, YouTuber. So, also, you are not one of the most well-known players in this election. So, what are your thoughts on Voice of the People and Fame Rank as a whole?
Well, I think the voice of the people, if used correctly, can be great because it gives smaller candidates a real chance to win or get top 7. And if not for smaller candidates, the ministers can basically pick up a perk that will benefit everybody. But if it's not used like this, it's just bad. And fame, I don't like it at all. Like, it gives pay-to-win players and players who played the game the most votes, and it's just, I think the votes are like not good proportionally distributed between the whole player base.
Okay, yeah.
So mostly negative on the fame.
Okay, yeah, makes sense. Thank you, Cuba. Why is Mayor Aura and Mayor Dante both in the chat right now? What is going on, bro? I'm so confused. Okay, moving on. We now have finished all the set questions, which means we now move on to stage 3 of the election. So, stage 3 of the election is questions that the candidates can ask to each other. So, if you have any questions about a person's perk, about why they're running, etc., then you have the chance to ask it now. We have about, I'd say we'll allow 5 questions overall. We might be able to fit some more in if we have the time. So, who first wants to ask a question? The floor is yours.
I'll step up.
All right. Keepora wants to ask a question. So, Keepora, who is your question directed to?
This is a question for Snowflake Kiwi. Kiwi, I can't help but notice the parallels between your campaigning party and a campaigning party of a previous mayor known as Dante. Would you cite him as an inspiration for your work?
I'm gonna be so for real with you. I'm broke and I was paid to put this on.
Right, so your morals in support of a dictator who destroyed our hub, which was restored by the late Technoblade, and you decide to put that to shame by supporting this man?
I mean, in all honesty, I wasn't here during the event. I was off doing schoolwork as a school kid. So, it's not like a big deal for me, as maybe it might not be for you, considering, I don't know, like, you tell me, are you a big fan of the whole Dante thing? Were you there? Do you understand what it means? Like, it's
very
not
well
entirely
understand what it
like just
means.
because of what somebody wears doesn't dictate their opinions on how they feel about something. Maybe I'm
Who's
wearing
into-
this because I think that this is a lesson that we can all learn from, to not let stuff like this, what happened before, happen again, what it's happening now. I mean, just because people have the impression of free will doesn't mean they have free will. It's almost like a dictatorship, which is what you were saying. I'm impersonating a dictator. So,
I couldn't help but also notice your running mate, Melon King, has been saying order, security, freedom in Blockit James's chat. Again, 3 words
if I
frequently
may
spoken by the
interrupt.
dictator Dante.
If I may interrupt, I own this so-called Dante organization, and we do not correlate with him. We are just supporting. Okay? This is nothing to do with, actually liking what Dante does. It's just supporting him and showing how corrupt the system has.
Aura, are
We don't
you
agree with him, we
against
just
the
support him.
freedom of the Skyblock players with choosing what they want to do? Is that why you're pressing
I'm all
so hard?
for the freedom. I'm all for the freedom of choice in the Skyblock people.
We are
When
just
it comes
showing
to
morals.
support,
We aren't trying to bring him now.
of course you can't. He's dead.
If you could let Keepora speak,
Hey,
please, King.
don't diss a dead
Shame.
man. That's kind of insulting.
Are you saying that Dante was a good person?
I'm not saying he was a good person, but don't diss the
He
dead.
had good ideas, but he did some bad.
It's a bad luck to diss the dead, regardless of
He
how
already
they
died. Now you're hating on him.
I don't agree with you.
Neither do I.
Okay.
I do also want to point out that you are the joke candidate here. You are benefiting the most from. You're benefiting the most from Voice of the People and Voice of the Fame.
I currently do
perk
not
that is-
have a singular minister vote. Every single one of my votes are non-minister votes, so I do not want to hear
How
about
can
the
you
voice of the
guarantee
people.
that?
Because
Yeah,
I've been
like-
keeping track of who every minister is voting for, and I guarantee you they're not voting for me.
Yeah, but you're still
know that for a
benefiting off of the main perk that is highly pay to win, and we don't know who you are, so keep
If
that in
there
mind.
wasn't fame, you wouldn't
That's
even
not
be
a choice
here.
of mine. I ran in this election so that I could give the people an option, so their only option wasn't to end Aura's reign. Instead,
yes,
it
you
gave
want to
people an
keep
option
the
to
one
keep
perk
Aura.
that's keeping you here, so interesting.
I
It
had
doesn't
no
seem like more
choice.
of a
I had
voice
no
than
choice
her.
in whether or not the famed voter or the voice of the people perk was chosen.
Likely story. Are you correlated with God? Are you in his DMs? I was one of the joke candidates last time that picked fame rank. I think you bribed him.
I'm not a priest. I don't know how you expect me to do that.
It's just a hunch.
So any more questions?
Okay, yeah. So that's the conclusion of Keep Aura's question. So we have 4 more questions that you guys can ask to each other. So does anyone here have any questions for the candidates? Dead silence. So I'm assuming that means that there are no more questions for the candidates. We can move on directly to the journalist stage. Is that correct?
Yes.
Yeah, good
That's
with
an
me.
AJ.
Okay.
Yes.
So we have in the stage today a journalist called Oscar Zajac. So Oscar Zajac, because of the lack of any other journalists here today, I'm going to give you 3 questions that you can ask to any of the audience. So, any of the candidates, I mean. I apologise. So, what is your first question, Oscar?
Mesh Clash. Don't you think the RNG totem will break the economy even more than Aura did with the reduced RNG meter?
Nah, it would people will not use it effectively most of the time because they're too lazy to wait. I think a good example is foraging. Foraging makes like 70 mil an hour right now. The only thing is you have to wait to actually get the profits from leveling up pets. That takes a really long time. So I think the profits are still going to stay with Slayers because people are too lazy to grind to like 50%, 60%, 70% RNG meter and then put the totem in their inventory and then grind the rest and make sure they drop it within that time. And the item is also going to be soul bound. So you're going to have to drop the item yourself to even be able to get value from it. So I don't think it's going to do much.
Wouldn't it be useless for Iron Man players?
Why would it be useless? It lets you keep RNG. Then once you, like, let's say you use it on getting a Warden Heart, then you can use all the extra RNG meter progress to get any other drop that you might need. And you'll have plenty of drops that can benefit from it, whether it's like maybe you need Viscera to craft something, or you need more shards to craft your halberd. I don't know. There's so many different things you could use it on. I don't think you'll get the saved XP and then not benefit from it.
Okay. So should we group that as one question, or should we move on and say this is your second question as it's directed towards another person or people?
It was the second question.
Okay, so we should move on to the third now.
Yeah.
Okay, so what is your third question? So you can do it to every single candidate. So have one question for every single candidate, or do it directly towards one. So Oscar, what is your question?
Kuba, don't you think the helmet will remove Warden and Clover and Crown of Avarice from the meta?
Well, Crown of Avarice is used for Diana, so that not. It should have lower magic find than Clover, so people can still benefit from a lot of magic find and not have multi-billion coin helmet. And about the Warden helmet, like, if it's still used in Kujira, I don't have a problem with it. And it still can be used for the first 400k XP of Blaze and E-Man. So it will still be used in Slayers. So I don't think it's that big of a problem. But that's not to me to decide.
Okay. So that ends the journalist questions, which means we head on to the rather long final stage, which is the audience questions. Now we have around 20 people watching on my live stream. I think Snowflake, you are still live as well. So if your chat does bring any questions, then please put them forward as well. But if you are in the chat right now and you have any questions for any of the candidates, please put them in the stream chat right now, and I will get them directly to the candidates. So we'll just give the chat about 30 seconds to start pouring questions in. While we wait, we can watch Snowflake Kiwi spinning around.
Can we get the Jeopardy music?
Hey.
What you mean, like da 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 da?
Do, 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 do.
Okay, we
that
have a few questions in
I just
the chat
imagine
now.
the Jeopardy theme playing.
Okay, so firstly we'll start off with Melon King, the current minister actually. Melon King asks, why was Keep Aura on my friends list until I mentioned it in chat, if they are so against my goals? So Keep Aura, what is your comment on that?
To be perfectly honest with you, a few hours ago I was sent a friend request by Melon King. I don't believe having a player on your friends list means that you automatically support them. I have Match Clash on my friends list. I have Blocket James on my friends list. Does that mean I supported their perks or their system that they want? No, that doesn't mean anything. I did remove him because I had a feeling that this is something that he would do. He would attempt to flip it as, oh, he's on my friends list, so obviously he is in support of my perks, which I believe is absurd, so I chose to remove him.
Alright, thank you, Keep Aura. And actually, another question for you, Keep Aura. What is the reason you wish to remain anonymous?
I don't desire my true identity to affect my candidacy. I want this to be a truly neutral option for the people to have an option to keep Aura in the game. I don't believe it should be that people see, oh, this is this person, and so I'm not going to vote for them because it's this person, or I'm going to vote for them because it's this person. I want it to be a neutral option that people can vote for.
And the final question for you is, what is the reason you wish to remain no, sorry, that's exactly the same one I just read out. I apologize.
That's the exact same one you just asked me.
Yeah. How long would you like Aura to go on for? Now, I think I know what the answer is going to be to this, but seeing as you are running on the premise of keeping Aura as kind of a counter.
Hello, I apologize. I just was interrupted by somebody entering my room. Could you please restate the question?
Of course. So Wedgel Brick said, how long would you like Aura to go on for?
I believe that it should be in the choice of the people for when Aura leaves, which is something similar to what they've been doing.
I misread the question. How long would you will you like Aura to be gone for? Okay, I'm sorry. Where's your bricks? Are you trying to ask this question to all of the candidates? Okay, the admins wrote in the 2025 recap. All right, yeah, all of them. Okay, Wedgel, we'll put your question behind because we do have a few individual. We do have an individual few questions that I'm just going to put to the audience now. Kobe4704 asks what Keep Aura's connect relation to Nock is. So, Keep Aura, are you aware of who Nock is, and what is your relation to him if that is truly the case?
Do not know who that is. Snock?
Are you not aware of who Nock is?
I have not heard of that name before. Who is that?
I'm pretty sure that Nock was actually a minister who was voted for by Yikes just before the end of the election.
Previous minute. Okay.
Yeah, he was a previous
Was
minister.
this in the 6th election?
Yeah, this was the 6th election. I'm pretty sure it was a last-minute switch that Yikes did.
I have not heard of them.
Okay. Next. A question for Kiwi this time. So yes, somebody else that is not good old Keep Aura is going to get a question. That's brilliant news. So Snowflake Kiwi, FF, I think it's just Frick or something like that. I think that's what their username is. As a candidate associated with Melon Kingdom, are you aware of the rumor that they have a candidate planted that is going to choose only negative perks? So are you aware of this rumor? And then maybe elaborate on it more.
This rumor has come across me as I've been campaigning. A lot of people seem to think that I'm also campaigning in regards to helping Melon King. I do want to point this out. This is not the case, and while the rumor, I dispel the rumor. I think it's false. I don't think End Aura is someone that Melon, is working with to, get more perks in or anything like that. I genuinely think that End Aura is someone who may not be, working with Melon, just because I've known Melon for a very long time. Me and Melon go way back. We're very good friends. But it's not the type of thing Melon is possible to do. It's not the type of thing Melon would typically do. He's not that type of person to, without being rude, come up with such a plan that would just, it just seems unlikely to happen, in my opinion. I'm very aware that people may think otherwise, but also there are rules stated for the election that you're not allowed to run on an alt account if you've already won in an election. And considering he has been elected as a minister, that's, I think, if he were to be in cohorts with the person on End Aura, that would get End Aura disqualified. Same with if the person behind Keep Aura happens to be a previous minister, because we've had quite a few of those. So I think I don't think the rumor is anything to worry about, and I don't believe it at all.
Can I ask a question real quick for Kiwi? Could you provide your source of where this rule came from?
Admins. Admins, after the Confused Screen incident, they stated that we were not allowed to run. Ministers were not allowed to run.
Where was this stated? Was this sent directly to somebody? Was this posted somewhere?
I'm gonna decline to answer. I'm gonna decline the answer to answering that just because it's something private for me.
Okay.
And I don't. I look. No, I'm saying trust me, bro, but I personally, this is like, I
I, in
don't want to
fact, do not
explain.
trust you, bro.
Okay, clown nose. But it's like I don't want to state where I get my information from, because it's also like, for example, if I state who I got it from, then like it could put that person in jeopardy, and that's not something I'm entitled to do at all.
Oh. Well,
What a
Okay.
wonderful.
block it. The server is restarting.
The server is restarting. Are
I
you
didn't do
having a
that, I
laugh?
swear.
Okay.
Yep.
All right, guys. I think. Yeah. Okay. Bro.
Okay, we'll just come
Okay.
back.
Yeah, we've just been warped out. In fact, that's probably a good time to check how the votes are doing right now, and then I'll revisit Libra's Island. So currently,
Alright.
in first place, Keepora, you were actually 3,000 votes away from 100,000 votes. And then Endora is just about to hit 69,000. Notch is actually in third now, slightly ahead of Mash Clash, which is very worrying for Mash Clash. Ascent PvP then comes next, then Spyro, and then Snowflake Kiwi, who is just approaching 10k votes. And then yeah, that's pretty much it in relevance to this debate. Alright, yeah, let's walk back in. Yeah, there we are.
I had a question for Keepora. Why do you sound like Kevin from Home Alone 2 when he was like recording his voice to get into the hotel room?
Little do you know.
Anybody get that?
I'm actually Kevin from Home Alone 2. So
I knew it. I knew
What
it.
an odd sense of humor to know. It must be quite old.
Yeah, he's ancient.
Wow. Incredible detective work, guys. Incredible detective work.
yeah, you've exposed my identity.
Kiwi, there was a question for you from Slow Silver asking whose minister vote do you have?
I have a minister vote? No way. I don't know. Do I have a minister vote, or did I just put a lot of hard work into it? I don't know who has my minister vote.
I think because you came up pretty early on and people started knowing your perk, they just started voting for you, which is why you've got over 5k right now. So I don't think you do actually have a minister vote.
I'm not aware if I have a minister vote, if I do have one. I do know I was meant to have Melons, however, he gave it to Endora. So, and then I kind of stopped. I almost gave up on campaigning, but then I was like, I'll actually give it a shot, and so I started campaigning. It's why I said that the fame rank perk is trash, because how do you think I got my votes? I have a lot of friends who happen to have 100 votes, and so I just literally went around to my friends and got my votes. So a bit of a nepotism here, but if I'm unaware if I have a minister vote. If I don't, can someone please give me one? Thank you very much. But yeah, so
Well,
I'm unaware at the moment.
Thank you, Snowflake Kiwi. Cuba, we have a very, very let's say question that is on the offensive here, from Slow Silver as
Whoa.
well. Why did you use AI art in your campaign? That is the question that Slow Silver has put to you.
First of all, I used my Microsoft Paint campaign, but it wasn't so successful, I'd say. Then I made a quick block bench animation. That was a little bit better, but it wasn't the full deal, so I wanted to make a meme dictatorship propaganda poster, and I used it a few times. It was the most successful one, sadly. But I'm not proud about it, but I'm bad at art, extremely. So I was down bad.
Okay. Now, Melon King, who is actually in the chat, asked a very spicy question just earlier. Wait, are we still live? Yes, we are. It's just we're having a decrease in viewership. But yeah, Melon King said earlier, is Keep Aura breaking the rule that admins aren't allowed to run and is secretly Jay of Armand? Now, Keep Aura, can you refute or admit to these claims? What is this true? Let's just leave it there.
I cannot confirm nor deny anything, but if in the next day or two Melon King gets banned, I promise it's unrelated.
Okay, all right. Okay, we'll wait for. I'll just take a look and scan for another question. Okay. Okay, yeah, we've got a question from Woven Cloth who is asking, is there a specific purpose to your custom perk, and if so, what is it? This is about your perk, Snowflake Kiwi. You there, Snowflake? Oh, it's Chloe. Oh, flipping out, yeah. I'm going mental, I apologise. Wait, am I disconnected from the VC? Okay, I don't even know what's going on. I can't hear anyone.
Still here.
Oh no, I can hear you. Okay. Chloe.net. What on earth is going on with YouTube, by the way? There's over 10 people in the chat, and YouTube is saying 4 concurrent viewers, which is 100% not the case. Chloe.net, a question from Woven Cloth. Is there a specific purpose to your custom perk, and if so, what is it? This is about your race perk. In fact, I'll show it on screen.
We haven't gotten a new race. We haven't gotten a new race since the dungeon race, and it used to be a tradition by the admins to like just add one every now and then. We haven't got one in a while. The main idea of it is just I want to see the tradition come back. I feel like we could get more races on the mining islands. The reason I just didn't include them in my perk is I was worried it would make it too large and not immediately be accepted by the admins, but my ideal version of it would be one for Crystal Hollows and one for Glaciite Tunnels as well.
Okay, that's
if
fair
that
enough.
answers the question.
Okay. So let's scan in for another question. Melon King had a question for Mash Clash. He was asking for your opinion on Clash Mash being number 1 for about 5 minutes. Now, I think I did get a few screenshots of this, but I believe 2 ministers trolled and gave Mash Clash 2 minister votes. No, Clash Mash 2 minister votes. How was that? What is your opinion on that, Mash Clash?
I don't know who that is. It's if you look at his skin, it looks like a Rift version of me, and I will never play the Rift. And he's obviously evil because he's from the Rift, so it's definitely not me.
Yeah, okay, that's fair. That's totally fair.
It's awesome.
Huh?
Rift's the best thing that ever happened to us. Besides the game being made, of course, so our lives are miserable.
That's a bit of a philosophical question for a minister debate, but okay. If you desperately want to
I'm a philosopher now. They call me John Philosopher.
Guys, should we do this question,
Like John
or is it
Skyblock.
probably better to skip over it?
What's the question?
King, could you repeat the question?
Rift is the best, besides Skyblock being made, make all of our lives bearable. This is true.
What?
I think
I
you're.
guess I'm
Like
just
maybe
too
3
philosophical for
words
y'all.
in there.
I think you're like
I'm too
breaking up
philosophical for y'all.
King. So I think we
Oh
do
no,
have
I'm
a.
speaking in enchantment table.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
My question. Okay, Little Purple. Wait, are you the guy who did those magic tricks at the end of the Nepo election?
Don't let him in. Do not let him in. He's
Is that
gonna
right? Or was it
trick
even the
us
Nepo
all
election?
and
I
then
can't
steal all our
remember.
votes.
Yeah, he is. He's asking Mash Flash on a scale of 1 to 10, rate the magic trick he did. Mash, what's your short answer to that one?
Good 8 out of 10.
8 out of 10. There you are, Little Purple. There you are. Oh, okay, yeah, that's a good question actually. From Wovencloth. So, question to any candidate willing to answer. What are your opinions on fundraising / redistribution from Aura? So, Snowflake. What is your opinions on the fundraising / redistribution perk that Aura provides? Are you having mic issues? Jump twice if you're having mic issues. Okay. Jump twice if you think it's a good thing. Jump once if you think it's a bad thing. Okay, and do you think...
I'd like to say that Kiwi is saying in chat to skip to somebody else.
Oh, okay. I should get that up. But yeah, okay, we'll skip to somebody else while you try and resolve your issue. King Crustonian, what is your thoughts on fundraising / redistribution?
But besides having to pay to travel, I hate that. I think I almost broke my keyboard once because of it.
What, because of fundraising and redistribution?
Yeah, because you had to pay to travel, and I rolled too many arching dice and literally went down to 0 coins.
Ah, okay, that's interesting. Mash Clash,
Yeah,
what are your thoughts on fundraising and redistribution?
I think it's good. I feel like the rich players they don't need that money. And that money was going to be just going to the void anyways, so might as well give it to the other players.
Okay. And then over here, Keep Aura. What are your thoughts on fundraising and redistribution? Now, I have a feeling there's going to be some slight bias here towards a certain mayor.
Of course. That is always natural to assume because I am in favor of Mayor Aura. I, of course, believe that these are positive perks. I fully agree with what Mash Clash has said. I believe that it takes money from the higher ups and the elite and redistributes it to the lower class. It gives people an opportunity to make more money and get them started when they're in the lower levels. I fully think it's a positive thing. I really don't see a flaw with it.
Okay, thank you very much, Keep Aura. Chloe.net,
Of course.
how about you? What are your thoughts on the fundraising / redistribution perk?
I think it's overall a benefit. Like, I'm already campaigning for early and mid game players, and that's who it benefits the most. Like, I know RNGs are definitely a lot more expensive now, but with how much more common they are as well, it really doesn't seem like it's that much of a difference. Because if you do 2 times less runs and it costs 2 times the money, you're paying the same amount of money. in my opinion.
Thank you, Chloe. Cuba, what are your thoughts on fundraising and redistribution?
Well, I think it's nice, of course, but I don't think 400k an hour will drastically change someone's playthrough. So, if I was Aura, I would make that the whole batch of coins would get gambled to 100 players randomly, so it will be more fun for everyone.
Okay, thank you very much. Melon King has a question for me, which I'm going to answer, I guess, if you really want to. Melon asks me, what am I blocking?
Kiwi would like to answer the question, by the way.
Kiwi would like to
They
answer.
said that their mic has been fixed.
Oh, their mic has been fixed.
You
Okay,
skipped
yeah.
me.
I'm so sorry. I didn't
Yeah,
know
is
your
it
mic
working?
had been fixed. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Ah,
I'm so sorry.
that
I know.
is,
I know. It's disgraceful. It's disgraceful. What are your thoughts on fundraising and redistribution?
It is the best perk Aura's ever had. As an Iron Man player who has no money-making method, I've made over 100 mil coins, paid for all my Slayers, I've paid for all my gear, I don't need to do anything, and I have talisman slots available in my bag. Best perk ever. So good. But I benefit a lot as an Iron Man player with no money-making method, so, you know, I've made over 100 mil coins. It's actually really, really good for me. I know people who've made over 200 mil just by AFKing. Very big W for Iron community. Free money.
Hey, thank you very much, Snowflake.
What about the power bills for having the computer on all day? The mic's still broken, James.
Job uncensored.
James, could you please get your chat in order?
Oh wait, what is
Yeah, this
this?
chat is kind of going crazy.
People are
This is why
talking
we
about
had
some
yikes.
unsavory topics and being quite rude. I'd appreciate it if you get them under control.
James,
Yeah,
this is
I'm
why we
going to go and
had
moderate. The
yikes.
thing is, Yikes LMAO is not here being silly. Well, he's not here moderating the chat, so I'm going to have to manually do it myself.
Bit of a goofy goober, bit of a silly little guy. Top ops, though, by the way.
Okay, I'll let Knock mod. I trust him enough to do it correctly. Okay, we do have actually a question. Yeah, Woven, I was just about to ask your question as well. With RNG drops, so this is also to all candidates, with RNG drops being more common, a lot of people are complaining about their net worth going down because items are worth less. Do you think this is an actual problem? Snowflake, what are your thoughts?
Okay, well, personally, I play both Iron Man and regular. I main both profiles. So obviously in my Iron Man, I'm not really affected by the whole economy, but it is nice that I don't have to spend like an extra 30 hours grinding RNG drops. From a regular perspective, the garden inflated the economy like insanely, and as someone who didn't jump on the garden hype when it first came out, I missed a lot of profit, like most people. So I think it's good that it's deflating the economy, and I think people complaining about their net worth should just go grind more stuff. Honestly, come on, guys, it's a bit easy.
Okay. Thank you. How about you, King Crostonian? What are your thoughts?
I dropped Production Core, and it was pretty cool. Yeah.
But do you think net worths going down due to item values going down is a problem?
Oh yeah, no, it definitely is, but I could care less because it's virtual money in a video game.
Okay, fair enough. Mash Clash, what are your thoughts on this? Now, this is actually quite relevant to you with the totem of RNG, of course, where it does actually boost RNG as well. So, what are your thoughts on values going down, and therefore net worths going down, etc.? Do you think this is a real problem?
I don't think so. I mean, I have a calculator for revs, and if I look at it right now, you can make 74 mil an hour with trading and pet leveling. So I feel like if you're still be able to make that type of money, it's probably not that big of a deal. And then same for Tarantula Slayer, you can make like 55 mil an hour, and I don't even have that good of a setup. So I think people are coping. Like you're still able to make good money.
Okay, fair enough. There are some allegations in the chat right now that Keep Aura is Nock. So, Keep Aura, are you Nock? Because if so, then I don't think
Evan
I
from
can have
Home
you.
Alone, like I said.
I have not talked to Nock before. I do not know who that is. I know he's a minister, as you've told me, but that is the extent of what I know.
Kipora, you're Kevin from Home Alone, right? We said.
Yeah, that's me, actually.
Yeah.
We've already
Yeah,
established
after your movie
this.
career, you went to Skyblock.
Okay,
I would also like to really quickly take a moment to thank Aura for the 419,022 coins I've just received. Thank you, Aura.
Oh, you
Nice
are not a
blazing.
streamer looting at a donation. Thanks, Aura, for the 5 gifted subs. I appreciate it.
just to avoid any drama, I've given Knight Libra mod, seeing as he is like actively helping host the event. Aura just said no problem, by the way, Keep Aura.
Of course, my goat.
Chloe.net. Well, actually, firstly, I should get you answering the actual question about RNG. Do you think this is an issue? Because, well, you know, people get angry when their net worth goes down, because items are getting worth less. So, what are your thoughts on that? Do you think it's actually a real problem?
Sorry, is this question directed at me? I apologize, I wasn't fully listening.
Yes. We're still going through each
I
candidate.
apologize. Could you reiterate?
It's a question about how RNG is affecting prices of items and how this is decreasing net worths. Do you think this is a problem?
Oh, yes, of course. No, I don't think this is a problem in the slightest. The decrease in price of RNG drops has made them more accessible to the lower level and poor players of the server, which is only a positive thing. Net worth is a subjective thing that really does not have a real purpose. It doesn't mean anything. It's just people can flex their funny numbers. Whereas lowering the prices allows it to be more accessible to everybody, which is a generally positive thing, which progresses more players along in the game and really doesn't have any downsides.
Okay, thank you, Keepora, for that response. Chloe.net, over to
No
you. What are
worries.
your thoughts on RNG and how it is affecting prices? And is this a problem, do you think?
I'm gonna have to agree with Aura here. As an Iron Man, it has been not only benefits, like purely benefits, but net worth is a very subjective and meaningless stat. When I play Skyblock, I play it to complete tasks, and I think making it easier to complete tasks, especially for early to mid game players, makes it so you don't have to spend 5k hours on meaningless crap. So I think it's a benefit.
Thank you very much, Chloe.net. And then finally, you, Cuba, what are your thoughts on RNG?
Well, I see the benefit for Ironman players, and like for a longer time period, it will be great. but I don't like how it takes the fun out of dropping something. Like you are not even excited to drop on a normal profile, of course. Like scrolls, Slayer drops, all of them cost nothing, and you can't grind G-Drag Bank or just pure coins from doing Slayers anymore. Or you can, but it takes a little bit longer. And I don't know, I don't like that part. But the net worth thing, I don't mind that much because like last 5 updates always brought the net worth down, so it doesn't change the fact that it's been happening for a long time. I was about to hit 20 bill net worth 5 times, but every time I was close. And nice updates dropped that put me down a bill, so I ignored this stuff now.
Okay, thank you. I believe we did just have Sarlin join, a last-minute candidate entry. Now, Sarlin is actually, I believe, just edging off the top 7. They are definitely in the top 14. Sarlin, you've ran multiple elections, so I think it would be good to know what your perks are, if you can explain it to the almost 30 people watching at this time. Silent, so starting off with you, what is your perk and why should people vote for you?
This is the first election I'm actually running in, but
okay.
My name's Saren, Saren with an L. My perk, it's a little bit twofold, but one is quality of life, the other is a new feature. It would be to give NPC prices to enchanted books that aren't just 1 coins, and to also give these same prices to all the pet items, reforged stones, and power stones that don't have them in game. And I think like that's just a really nice quality of life update. Especially anybody who fishes or plays dungeons knows that like the books get really annoying on normal profile and on Iron Man. It clogs up your inventory. It'd be nice if you could just like get rid of them. The other perk that's much bigger in my opinion, I would say, is an RNG salvage feature that I would want added, similar to the Dragon's Altar menu that you have in the Dragon's Nest. It would be a menu that you can sacrifice dupe RNG drops that you get for a portion of their RNG meter. No hard numbers yet, obviously. And I think this is also helpful for both kinds of players, because if you're on a normal profile and you're just trying to like finish out, just get your Judgment Core, and you drop a Blood Chalice, for example, and you're like really close, you could always buy the Judgment Core, but you're almost there on your meter. So you could sacrifice that and get the guaranteed meter instead of selling it for like the however many coins it is.
Okay, yeah, that's interesting perk. Thank you, Solon. I think we were just going through a question about RNG. Sorry?
It's just trusted.
Sorry?
It's very similar to Trusted perk.
Yeah, the RNG
I don't recall
salvage.
Trusted perk.
Yeah, though I'm pretty sure Trusted had some sort of RNG salvage perk as well. I think you'll have to look at his YouTube short for that, but I'm pretty sure he did. He did come on the debate for the 4th election, I think it was. But yeah, I can see why you're saying that, King. Solid. We were on a question from the audience about RNG. So, the question was about how RNG is causing prices to crash, and about how net worths are going down, the value of the items are going down, so less profits as well. Do you think this is a problem that Aura is causing? Do you think it's like a legitimate problem? And what are your thoughts on that?
No, I don't believe that this is a problem at all, actually. I do understand that a lot of the people from the Dungeons community who play a lot of Dungeons are very upset that their profits and their drops are going down, but also that their chest prices are going up, and it becomes like really irritating for them. However, I think that, especially with Aura's perks, that this is way better for the game. A lot more people are playing Dungeons, even if the drops are coming faster and there's a big pump into the market for the amount of items that are being sold. There's also a lot of people that aren't buying them as much because they're able to like go and get it themselves. Slayers are doing much better. Basically, every other aspect of the game, I think, is thriving. People are having more fun. We've never seen player numbers like this before. It's like even with like major updates, like this is coming like pretty close. And I think the prices will go back up once Aura's gone. And we've already seen a huge hit to the RNG meter when Ananke feathers were introduced with the attribute changes. And I don't think that this is nearly as bad. And I don't think that it actually like really is a problem. The foraging update did have higher numbers, but that was like a very major update that was very highly anticipated. And Aura was sort of just like an event that popped up out of nowhere.
Yeah, I do actually have the stats up here now. Hypixel at the moment, like before December, it had been months since we'd hit 50k player count. Right now, as it stands, Hypixel is at 52k and peaked at 54k earlier, and has been doing consistently over the past few weeks, which I think can mainly be attributed to Aura itself. So yeah, I can see what you're talking about there. Thank you, Solid. Okay, so we'll head over to back to the chat asking for any questions. I'm pretty sure AR12, the art guy themselves is in the chat right now and did have a question, but I still don't have that. I am going to just scroll up and find that so I can put that into the candidates.
If I may interrupt for a second, I did see somebody did have a question for me in the chat.
Who said that?
Mayor_Dante.
Okay, yeah, you can answer that question. It appears my game has just crashed.
Oh. Hopefully the stream comes back online, but well, people can hear me for now.
Yeah, the stream is
Mayor
online.
Dante asked, oh, sorry, the video. Mayor Dante asked, Saren, what if people abuse it by buying cheap RNG items, crashing the price? And this was something that I was very concerned about when I was first considering all the perk ideas that I had. And the way that I wanted to come across it was that it would be a system similar to Ananke feathers, but not nearly as profitable. Because when the Ananke feathers were introduced, we sort of did get basically a flat metric of how much coins you can spend to buy RNG meter XP. And I thought that that was a very bad decision, and I didn't really like that. But we do have those numbers and those mechanics here to stay for as long as they're here around now. So it would never be like a 1-to-1 ratio, and there are a lot of items that I've already like noticed. For example, Beheaded Horrors or Spider-Man Terra Catalysts, Ender Artifact Upgrader, Enchant Runes, which have very high RNG meter costs, but they also go for a very low amount on the Bazaar and Auction House, for example. And I would want to leave the numbers up to the admins, and I wouldn't want every item to have the same conversion ratio, because I think that that would be a very bad implementation. So it would depend on the item, and things would be adjusted.
Okay, thank you. My game is trying its best not to restart, so we'll give that a few seconds. In the chat right now, I will wait for questions. I'm pretty sure... yeah, I was saying earlier, AR2 had a question for Keep Aura. Keep_Aura. Do you consider yourself an angel or devil version of Aura? No reason why I'm asking right now. That is the question.
What a question. I believe, considering I consider myself in support of Aura, I'd probably say a good version of Aura. You can interpret that as you will.
Okay, yeah, that makes perfect sense. The game may be... Oh wait, Ascent's in the VC? I didn't even realise.
He is currently in the VC, yes.
I think Libra...
Yo!
Oh, hi, Ascent. Welcome along
What's
to
up?
the debate. It's okay, you're not
What's
the
up?
only
What's up?
late
I'm here for the
person.
debate. I'm a little bit late.
Okay, alright. I said you have like we're pretty much got around 30 minutes left before we do finish, but we're currently going through audience questions
Okay.
as it stands right now. But I guess you can explain your perk to the audience watching. So yeah, you can do your
Okay.
speech now. Yeah.
So, my perk, I want to bring zero ping terms back to the people. We had originally back in 2020 F7 released, and there was basically how the terminal GUI works. It's different than any other GUI in Skyblock. It's sort of like when you're clicking around in your Skyblock menu and you open your e-chest, how there's hella delay on high ping. That's what the terminal menu is like. That's the only menu that's like that. All the other menus, like the Melody terminal, for example, you can skip, which proves that it does not destroy itself. You would be unable to do that on any amount of ping otherwise. So it's like, what I want to do is make it back to how it was, because all terminals used to be like that. And the problem was people would auto term and you'd be able to instantly do every single terminal. But instead of making an anti-cheat, the admins were like, okay, we'll just make it like the Skyblock menu so your ping is delay. But in doing that, if you live in like Australia or Europe or anything, you cannot keep up. Like at this point, after 6 years of people practicing terminals, you just cannot keep up. And they have since made an anti-cheat, which is why when they added M7 and they removed the maze terminal and replaced it with Melody, the Melody menu is pingless. And they could just add that to every single terminal, and then everything is just better and smoother for high ping players.
Okay, thank you, Ascend, for that. I'm going to wait for a few more questions to come into the chat. Alright, yeah, we'll just wait for them to flow in. Melon King has a question to the one journalist who showed up. What mode of transport did you use to get to the island today? I'm not sure why it's there, but if you want to answer that, Oscar, then please go ahead. Is Oscar still in here? I don't think he even is, actually. I know he is, but he's just muted. So I think we'll just leave it there.
Me? Did he ask a question for me?
For the journalist who
James.
showed up.
Oh.
He seems to be AFK in the game now.
Yeah,
I'm not sure.
it appears that would be it. I'm just trying to restart my game, so I apologise everyone for the issues you're currently seeing on screen. I think Night Libra is live, so I might be able to bring it to his POV while we await for the stream to regain consciousness, I guess. So I'll just load that up. Fangirl was just saying in chat that they're running during the 9th, so Fangirl, you'd be welcome to join the next debate. Oh, it looks like Minecraft may have just opened, but we'll see. Let's see if it instantly crashes. And Chloe, I apologise for sending that. I'm not sure how I did that.
All good. I was very confused.
I tried to watch the live stream, but it's interesting. Brazen Leffer has a question for, well, technically me. Where is the stranded representation? And I know what you're right. Where is the stranded representation? Where are the people? Where are the stranded people? Like, come on, guys, you've got to run someday. Like, I know you're end of life and all, but like, come on. All right. Oh, okay. Melon King has a question. Who's saying that? Yeah, sorry. What is going on exactly? Question for all from Night Leaver has just walked me. Let's hope my game does not crash again.
I believe you're lagging out quite poorly.
Okay. Right, there we go. Can you hear me, guys? Are we all good?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, great. All right, good to see Ascent has arrived, and now everyone is here. That's great news.
For James.
Okay, yeah, we're back. All right. So before we continue, while I wait for some chat questions to come in, so keep asking questions. Melon King, your question we put in a second. Ascent, I just wanted to ask you this about what your set perk would be, since we've gone through that with everyone else and we haven't gone through it with you. So, what do you think your set perk would
Like
be?
my top 7 perk.
Yeah, your top 7 perk.
So what I'm gonna do is remove the aura perk tax. I'll always said I don't need a custom perk for that. So
is that a removable
that would be
perk?
my plan. That's what I was told. I don't really know how it works. But if that is denied, then I would just choose easy peasy. Pretty simple.
Okay, yeah, that's cool. Melon King had a question for all of the candidates from so Melon King, who got second place last election. If you could add a new base perk, no matter if positive or negative, what would you do? So I'm not sure what exactly that means. I think he's just asking for a custom perk, but I'm not sure. Melon King, if you could elaborate on that further, then please go ahead. Are you saying that if they could add a negative custom perk? Because that's a bit weird, because we've all had custom perks read out. Right, yeah, chat. Keep feeding us questions while we wait. Any questions each of the candidates have for each other right now? Oh, what, Melon King? You mean like if it was a new new set perk that they could choose, what would it be? Like if they could make a set perk themselves, is that what you said? I assume so, and that would make sense.
I would have a question for Sarlin if we're doing questions for each other.
Okay, yeah, well, you can have a question for
Sure.
Sarlin while Melon King just confirms that. So Sarlin,
Yeah.
With people asking about buying lower tier RNG drops to just fill the meter, what are your thoughts on making it only drops that you yourself have already dropped? Since we already have a system in place for Vincent dies, how you can't turn a die that you've bought into a talisman?
That absolutely could be implemented. I actually forgot about the Vincent die system when I was thinking about it. There's another system that someone else did bring up to me that is similar, which is how when you do a community event and you get a memento, it includes your name with the like on the actual item, but if you ever sell it, it removes your name and wipes it from the memento. So I was thinking of a system similar to that, but Vincent die is also very much applicable. It's just that they would have to track it on their back end, and I'm not sure if they would want to.
That's fair.
But I think that regardless of how it's implemented, in my vision, the numbers will always be that Ananke feathers are more coin efficient because we already have that as a metric, and that's not something that I want to approach.
okay. Any follow up to that answer?
If we do,
Sorry, continue.
Kind of like building on that question a little bit. Can I ask, like, if you think Anake feathers are still going to be like the main cost, do you not see how your perk would drive the price of Anake feathers down because there's less demand because people can use this other method instead?
No, I don't believe that to be the case, actually. If the argument is that Ananke feathers are right now, like they are the main driving cost between RNG drops going down, which is the case, not including Aura, which, yes, there are more RNGs in the market because of Aura. But if Ananke feathers are the reason why RNG drops have been dropping down below that, then it's because the community will look for the cheapest way to get coins to meter XP. And if the implementation was such that it's clearly the best to buy Warden Hearts and turn them into meter to buy Scythe Blades, then I think that that's just a bad implementation of the numbers. Like I think it very much is a numbers question. I don't think that the principle of the perk is the issue.
Okay. Okay, so what Melon was asking earlier, I've managed to decode it. He was asking about if you could make a new set perk that any of the ministers could choose, no matter how positive or negative. What perk would you make it? So it'd be a temporary one that would only be active while they are active. Starting with you, Ascent, what do you think you would do if you could make any like temporary perk and add it during your minister?
Wait, sorry, what is the question?
So basically, Melon King was asking about if you could add a perk to the set perks list, what would it be, no matter how positive or negative?
Like if I added a new perk to it?
Yeah, if you added a new perk to it, what would it be?
I would add 0 paying terms. That's what I would add.
So just temporarily during that time you're active as a mayor, as a minister, you mean?
Yeah, that'd be a good fourth Paul perk.
That's fair enough. That's fair enough. King, how about you? I think he died. Yeah, I don't think he's there. Snowflake, how about you? What are your thoughts on what perk you'd add if it was a set perk?
No, I'm here. I'm here.
Oh, yeah. Let him go first.
Okay, go ahead.
What was the question, James?
If you could add a perk to the
What was the question?
If you could add a perk to the set perks list,
Okay, and he
what perk
crashed.
would you add? It's like how the set perks list has all of the mayor perks and the aura perks and stuff like that. It doesn't matter if it's good or bad. It would just be a temporary one during the time you're a minister.
Like, add a perk to aura?
No, add a perk to the temporary
Questions.
The temporary set perks that you were given.
Oh, okay. So like add like to like a mare, like Diana or something.
No,
Yeah,
King.
I'm just gonna. I have no clue. I'm way too stupid for this. Zip.
Okay, yeah, we'll move on. We'll move on. Snowflake, on to you.
If I could make a new temp perk for mayors to choose from, it's a really funny question. Personally, I would either bring back Dante's old perks because they no longer have the code for it, which is why we're not allowed to accept them, or Derpy's closed auction house. I think it'd be nice to have some more negatives because we've always got all these positives, and maybe some negatives would make people want to end Aura sooner.
Yeah, but clearly right now, as we can see by that man standing over
That's
there,
my thing.
it isn't going.
Plan knows.
He's not going anywhere.
Not yet.
That's crazy. Keep Aura. What perk would you add if you could add a perk to the set perks list that you receive?
I had given it a little bit of thought. However, I will say, operating on less than 3 hours of sleep, and I had about 2 minutes to think about this. So this could be just a terrible idea. My idea was I was thinking about a perk that increases NPC sell price of all items by 25%, or lower depending on how balanced it needs to be. Which I think could be interesting as a temporary perk.
Okay. And then Chloe.net. What do you think you would add if you had a chance to add a question to the set perks list?
We definitely don't need it, but I would want Finnegan to give more chance for higher rarity visitors rather than just add new mythic visitors.
Yeah, it's true, it's true, it's true. And then Cuba, how about you? What do you think?
Well, I would implement the thing I said about the fundraising, that my custom perk would be global gambling, and the random 100 players will get each hour the 100 of the coins raised.
All right. Thank you. Salin, what is your thoughts? What perk would you add?
So my temporary perk, which this would be for right now, I don't see this as something that I would want to have all the time, but I don't believe that we've actually had more than one Diana Mare since the Mythic Burrows update. And that means a lot of people can't buy a second Griffin if they want to grind Bestiaries or even start doing Diana, because all the Dianas have been Jerry Dianas. And I would add a perk called Jury Summons and have Diana show up in the hub as a mayor somewhere in the hub so that you could actually interact with her shop. Or I would rather have a perk where you can buy from every single NPC or mayor shop that they might want to add, because I know there's more. There used to be more than just Diana, I believe.
Yeah, wait, that is actually a really good idea. Like, I didn't think of that because, like, yeah, we only had Diana once, where she did win by a huge margin after the Diana V2 update. And now we've just no other players, like especially early mid game players who might not even have something as simple as an ancestral spade or even a griffin pet, have to like rush into the auction house and pay a bunch of money on it, and that's why price has been going up as well. So yeah, I can see where you're coming from.
If I can, I would like to take this opportunity to actually ask some of the other candidates some questions.
Of course, yeah, go ahead.
So my question is directed to Snowflake Kiwi. So earlier in the debate, I believe Chloe.net asked you a question about what minister perks or what minister votes that you have, and you said you didn't believe you had any. Are you aware that Melon King is voting you right now with his 5,000 votes?
I was not. I was assuming Melon King decided not to vote me and to vote Aura. And Aura. Wasn't aware of it.
So you aren't aware of this, but you were streaming last night, I believe, correct? To campaign for your.
I haven't finished streaming. I'm kind of sleepy.
Oh, were you streaming the entire 14 hours or so?
Yeah, I not the entirety since it started. I did when I found out Melon decided he wasn't going to back me. I actually was not gonna campaign, and for 4 hours I disappeared to go hit the gym and shit. But I came back and started campaigning, and I didn't really pay attention that much.
Okay, so you came back and started campaigning. At what point was this where you and Melon King and a bunch of other people had a photo op in your Dante skins? Because I believe that this was only a couple hours ago that this happened.
Yeah. So like I said, Melon King gave me 2 mil to throw on a Dante skin. I had made him a Dante skin earlier, I think 2 days ago, maybe. And I had the base already, and a lot of people were asking me for Dante skins, and I just thought I would do it while I was bored, because I'm sitting in the election booths just typing in chat, and so I was like, I can make people skins, and people were asking me for skins because they saw Melon and my skin, and it was like, okay, sure. And so that's kind of how like the photo op happened. It wasn't like intentional or anything. It was just like I was just making people skins, and they were like, "We want one," and I actually have like a list of like 4, 5, 6 people who want one at the moment that I haven't done. So, yikes.
Okay. I wanted to ask these questions because obviously I hope you understand why. That is sort of weird that you are saying that you don't have or you aren't aware that you have Melon King's backing, but you do have his minister pick and or minister votes, and he has said so.
I
And
don't have his back.
his votes. Sorry, you were initially running on his perk, and you have his votes, and you have been friends with him for a while, obviously, and he
Yeah, we're
was backing you
married.
initially. He yeah, obviously. He was you were running on his perk in the beginning, and he was going to back you for that, but now you are saying that that's not the case, even though you did also switch to your Dante skin, and there was a Dante photo. I just want to just clear that up.
So yeah, a lot of people are confused on why I was originally running with his perks. I do want to clear the air here. A lot of people think they're Melon's perks. I asked Melon to run in the election because I didn't want to run, and I made Melon's Rift perks. I made his Rift perks, and then when he didn't get third and he got robbed, I was gonna run with them, and he was gonna vote for the 5K and just vote me, and then we were just gonna get our perk, and then we were gonna move on because we both really do enjoy the Rift, and it was something that we both really wanted, and it was a change that I actually do firmly believe in. Like, there is not enough Ender chest pages in the Rift. Like, this is something we do need from, like, as a community, because there are a lot of early game players who make their money in the Rift. Rift off rip can make upwards of like 50 mil an hour on a fresh profile, if you were not aware, from Vampire Slayer. So it is actually a really good thing, but one of the issues with it is that most people don't even know you can get a second Ender chest page. A lot of people don't get the second Ender chest page, and balancing all the items you get and your inventory space, it makes it really hard to do certain things. So that was the main reason I was running with the perks, was because they were originally my perks. I gave them to Melon. I then decided to run with them, and then when Melon decided he was gonna troll, I guess, I swapped off of the perk and realized this was not gonna work out. So I took an idea from someone in the community who I thought had a really excellent idea, because I didn't have time to make up new perks.
Okay. I do have another question that it's actually great timing with the chat too, if I can ask that.
Yeah, sure. Because we don't have any big chat questions right now.
So my question is directed at Keep Aura. So Nock is in the chat right now saying that despite him thinking Keep Aura is me, Sarin is cooking right now. And it's like, thank you, I appreciate the support. I do want to ask though, do you really want to double down on the fact that it's not you? That you are not Nock right now, a former minister who has already won an election.
Oh, my mic was muted. Hold on.
Nope.
Can we talk about this outside of the debate right now?
I believe that it's
this is the
important
proper place to do this.
I believe that it's important to keep this in a public forum where accountability is met, because I think that this is something I feel like, especially since you've already won an election, I'm alleging that you already won an election, that it's important to keep it straight. I think it's important to be transparent about it.
Okay.
But if you would like to declare,
I will say flat out, I am a previous election winner. However, I did not place top 3 in said election. So there's nothing against the rules about having a minister who previously placed top 7 but not top 3 running in a non-consecutive election. There is nothing against that. You are not allowed to run again if you place top 3 or if you won in the previous election. I do not meet either of these requirements, and therefore I am not violating any sort of rules.
That is correct, but I will point out that it is a little bit dishonest to say that you are not previous minister beforehand.
At no point did I say I was not a previous minister winner.
So are you denying my allegations against you that you are Knock?
I'm not going to comment on it because I do not want anybody to have any sort of evidence for or against this claim. As I've previously stated, my intent is to keep my identity anonymous so that my identity does not affect whether or not people vote for me. I do not want people to or not to vote for me based on my identity. Regardless of what evidence you think you may or may not have with my identity, I ask that you keep it private because it completely invalidates the integrity of what I'm attempting to do here. I'm not doing this for my own personal gain. I'm doing this for an opportunity for the people to have an option to keep Aura instead of it being exclusively to end Aura. That is it. I don't know what evidence you think you may or may not have for or against my identity, but I ask you that you keep it to yourself.
I don't think we should say what I may or may not have because I think we both know what I have. But
I actually do
I will
not
say
know what you
that-
have. Feel free to contact me on Discord, and I'm curious, but I do ask that you keep this anonymous.
I will say that I don't think it's fair that you can say that even if you are running on what you believe to be a noble cause, which is to keep Aura running, I don't believe that the deception should be something that we should overlook. I believe that
I'm
it's
willing
something
to
that's important.
honestly answer any questions needed except for that of my identity because of the reasons I have previously stated. I will answer any questions completely 100% honestly that anybody would like me to answer, so long as I do not have to expose my identity. So please, if you have any more questions, ask away and I will answer them honestly.
No, I think those are all the questions I had for you.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. All right. I can't see many let's just say relevant questions in the chat as of now. Melon King is saying to keep Aura, what have you done on August the 13th, 2023? That is a quite random question, but I'm not completely sure what the relevance is.
I could not tell you what I was doing on August 13th, 2023. That was 2.5 years ago. Hello?
Okay, yeah.
Hello?
Thank you for your response.
Did you hear my answer?
Yeah, I did. Okay,
alright, I wasn't sure.
I have a question for you, Keep Aura.
Okay, go ahead. Snowflake Kiwi.
What are you doing tomorrow night? And can you take the voice changer off?
I will be keeping my identity anonymous until the end of Aura's mayorship. I will not be exposing my identity until after Aura has left office. That is my plan. But I will be telling you who I am at the end of it.
Can I ask
Alright, fair enough.
something?
Of course.
Of course, yeah.
Mr. Keep
Sorry, who's
Aura.
speaking right now?
Who's
Give
that?
me
Sorry, who's
Kuba.
speaking right
You're
now?
right.
Oh, yeah, okay.
You're right.
Yeah, well, to my right.
Me.
What's up?
What's up? One thing. Don't you think it's kinda important for us voters to know who is behind Keep Aura? Because you can be just speaking lots of gibberish right now and lying to defend their previous actions as former minister, you know?
I believe that my decision to come clean about being a previous minister and being honest about that is enough proof that is as much proof as I can possibly give to prove my trust and my legitimacy without outright exposing my identity.
Valid. But still, we don't know your clear intentions, you know?
And that's a fair concern. And I know it doesn't mean much, but you have my word that I do genuinely have the best interests of the community at heart. Of course, I know that this does not mean anything to you because what do I have to base that on? But that's unfortunately the best trust I can give you right now.
All right. Thank you.
Glitch the Creator is in the chat right now. He is a journalist and he might actually have some questions.
Of course.
Okay, Glitch, I will invite you to the party. Yeah,
While
okay,
we
never
wait
mind.
for Glitch, do you mind if I ask another question to every single candidate on the board?
I don't think he minds. He isn't in the call right now. I'm just trying to get him into the Discord.
All right. I just want to ask everyone why they think that the End Aura movement has so much momentum, especially since almost everyone here either knows or has had some interaction very recently with the previous ministers, and this is something that has almost come out of the woodwork.
Well, endgame players don't like Aura that much. And they have a lot of voting power with the Fame thing.
So you're saying it's the Fame perks that are sort of like boosting End Aura up, and that they don't really enjoy the increased RNG drops.
I would say so, but not that they don't enjoy the drops, but it's just Aura is here for kind of long time, you know?
Okay.
I think personally, for me personally, it's mainly because while all the ministers control what temp perks we get, we're getting like easy peasy and Diana all the time, but we're missing out on like other perks like Chest Marauder, where it makes dungeon chests cheaper. So from like an Iron Man perspective, because I do play both, I can't do dungeons on my Iron Man because I don't have a money maker method, which means I don't benefit from the bonus for the RNG meter. And then if I do drop something, it has to be like 80 million coins, and that takes me like 2 fiestas mining diamonds, which is heavily contested. So that's like, I think that's also something, is that while we are getting the best perks from each minister, we aren't getting like enough perks to make like some of them worth it. Like, for example, Fall, where, you know, easy peasy is really nice and cheaper chests is really nice together, but when we don't have them, it's like you're paying 25% more for like a scroll, like 60 mil to 80 mil, or handle being 280 or something. Like, guys, what? I think that's also something that a lot of players are kind of sick of, especially considering dungeons. It's mainly just like people who aren't as advanced can't benefit the most, and are getting hit harder when they do get good drops, because now they can't use them effectively, or maybe they can't afford to buy them because they were unaware of, you know, Aura's increased tax.
Okay,
I mean,
thank you, Kiwi.
kind of like building off of that, I was gonna say, like, I think there would be a significantly reduced amount of people if we can remove the aura tax, which I've been told by the other people in this election that disabling aura perks isn't allowed, but I don't know. Apparently Squid Kid disallowed 2 of them, so I'm not really sure how I would be unable to disallow one, but I think if that perk was gone, the tax perk, and we had bonus XP still, and we got all the good parts of all the mayors, I don't see why anyone would ever be against Aura. So I really think the movement is based on the taxes alone.
Okay, so I think Glitch will probably have a question if Glitch is here. And then Luciento, King can't say anything. I'm pretty sure he's driving right now and he can't actually speak. Can you speak, King? see, I don't think you can. Glitch, do you have any questions for any of the candidates right now?
I think he said he needs some time to prepare his question.
Oh, okay. In that case, in fact, have we got round to everybody with Solon's question yet, actually? Now I think about it. Like Chloe.net and Keeper.
I believe Chloe said that they won't be able to answer this question, but Keep Aura hasn't answered that yet.
Okay,
I have not. Could you please reiterate the question?
So what do you think is the reason why there is such an explosive rise to this End Aura movement, where people are obviously getting very fed up, but it hasn't been like something that's been very gradual. It has definitely ramped up, essentially like this election. So why do you think that is?
I have actually given this a decent amount of thought. I think it is when people saw Aura as a mayoral candidate before she was elected to office, they saw her and they thought, the first thought in everybody's mind, this is like Dante. This is like the Dante election that we had all those years ago. So I think that establishes this idea in everyone's mind that this is an event that is going to go there for maybe a week or two and then immediately be done. Whereas the admins are attempting to do something different with this, and people don't like that. People don't like them doing something different than what they're used to. So I believe that has had people be like, well, this is different. This is not what we're expecting. We're not expecting it to go on for this long. And I believe that, combined with the stressfulness and the competitiveness of the campaigning from so many of the ministers, has led to people being like, man, I just want this to be over. And that is my genuine answer to that.
Okay. So I think that's everyone who's answered the question. So the final thing we are going to do, because yes, this debate will finally end in a few seconds, is if Glitch has a question for any of the members, he can ask that one question now, and then after that we will conclude the debate. Glitch, you're muted.
My question goes primarily to Keep Aura. What is it that you're really offering? Is this just some social experiment in the grand scheme of things, or are we really doing something for the people? Because regardless if Aura stays here or not, I feel like the minister debates should always at least have something to be offered to the people, rather than just being some crazy social experiment.
So at the moment, the main priority of my running for minister is the purpose of, as I've previously mentioned, I know you've just arrived, but I want to reestablish this. The purpose of my running is to give the people an option, because when I saw End Aura running in the election, my first thought was, where's the other option? This is just one choice. What if people want to have that choice to stay? So I thought, I'm going to run as Keep Aura, to give the people a choice to be allowed to keep Aura instead of only being allowed to end it. And clearly, I believe that is spoken well from the fact that we are currently, I think, around 35,000 votes above ending Aura.
Well,
okay.
Neither. I don't believe either of them are going to result in the ending or keeping of Aura. I feel like that's more of something that's going to come through admins and seeing things. It's not just going to be a straightforward vote.
I disagree. Previously, in a forum post by the admins, they explicitly stated that they will not interfere with a end of Aura event. It is up to the people to decide when Aura ends. That was what they've said in their forum post. So
Well,
I
they
disagree.
didn't say it was going to be through a vote either, but
Of course, but they did say
I guess
it was left up to the people and how other to do that than through the vote.
Okay.
Okay, I think that is it. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that concludes the debate. It's been a whole 2 hours since we started. yeah, so thank you all for tuning in. Hope you had a good time watching, and thank you all candidates for staying in the debate and answering some questions. Yeah, thank you all very much. Thank you, viewers, for sticking along. And yeah, there'll probably be another minister debate this weekend leading up to the next election. All right, thank you all for coming, and yeah,
May I
I'll
say
see you later.
one last thing?
Sorry,
Oh, did I get back residence?
what do you say?
I wanna. Oh, could I say one last thing?
Okay, if you say so.
Hello.
Yeah.
I just
go on.
wanted to quell the worries and confirm I'm a squid kid. I will say that outright.
Okay.
So you do not have to worry about that.
Okay. Thank
That
you
will
for
be all.
watching, as I just said. Yeah, see you in the next debate. Goodbye.
Can I say one more thing
Vote
right before
me.
it ends, actually?
Oh my god, bro.
I just want to say that I think that to everybody who's watching, I think that you should be voting for the perks that you want to be added. And I think that we've sort of lost the plot with all these elections and how everything's going. I think it should be that you should vote for who you want. And I hope people here, I hope that you guys like what I want. And I hope that you like my perk. But if you like anyone else's perk, then you should vote for them and who you want to win for the perk. I don't think the admins are going to either end or keep Aura based on just this election. And if you do want to vote me, that's Sarin with an L and not an I.
Okay. Yes, that should actually conclude the debate now. Thank you all for watching. It's been a 2 whole hours, and if I'm being honest, it's almost 10 o'clock, and I would like some sleep. Thank you all for tuning in, and as I said earlier, I'll see you guys at the weekend for the 9th Minister election debate. Okay, see you all later. Bye.
We love you, James.
Oh, thank
Thank
you.
you for the invite, James.
Goodbye.
Yeah,
Vote
thank
me
you.
and
You will
thank you.
not be seeing me again.
Oh,
You will
okay.
not be seeing me again either.
Oh, not even for a double date. You, me, Melon,
Uh,
and Dora?
What did
Come
I walk
on.
into?
I mean,
Frost,
who
I
am
couldn't
I
tell
to
you.
say no?